I am on top of the old town jail.
That's from the castle, isn't it?
Apparently, yeah, it's like that.
It's a magnificent view. Just looking out over Stirling.
It's part of the hotel. Oh, right. That's the hotel, and apparently, I'm not sure which day it is. It's either Mondays or Thursdays, I think. But anyone that's living at the hotel or the local pub can buy and give you access to. Oh, right. Get inside, which is pretty sweet.
Was that a river running through here?
Sorry?
Is that a river running through here, or was it just like we'll get the railway through here?
Oh, that's the railway. That's the railway station.
Yeah, rivers. No, just see.
And this corner down here, everybody, where the two walls of the prison meet, this little triangular room covered in all the leaves, that's the dark room, and that was their solitary confinement back in the day. So there's a black gate there at the moment, but at the time it was a thick oak door, so no sunlight could get through. And you'll see the little hydrant thing on the roof, that was the only source of sunlight that they'd actually have. So those of you that know Stirling well, it's usually quite rainy, which means that it'd be very dark and very damp in there.
Dark room.
And was that an exercise yard down there?
The one to your left here is an exercise yard, and the one that we passed just by in the elevator was an exercise yard. Male prisoners would get half an hour of exercise every single day. This would be one at a time, complete silence, and it would just be a case of them walking up and down, to be honest. So it doesn't seem that much, but compare that to the toll booth, and for those of you that didn't know where the toll booth was, is this blue building here with the weather vane on top, just directly in front of the Wallace Monument in the foreground there. So that was the toll booth, that was the original prison, and it was the worst prison in all Britain in the 1840s. So yeah, sorry?
It's tiny.
Well,
So the
yeah,
weathercock
I
on
mean,
top,
that's
it's
one
the
of things is
old
to try and,
prison,
like,
the
hit back
original,
at it, like,
the toll
this entire
booth.
prison only held 57 people, 2 cells, and their cells were smaller than our cells. 2 cells there held 60 people. So 2 cells there held more than this entire prison. That's how cramped it was, and then that's what made it so terrible, because they were just cramped in worse than, you know, like factory chickens these days. So, but yeah, female prisoners would also get to use the exercise yard, just much more rarely. This was because they were busy with the chores. And like when I did that line, I saw you laughing. I saw you laughing.
Things haven't changed, then.
That's the thing is, like, either the girls laugh it off or they look like they're about to attack me. But I do tell them this was the 1840s. You know, it's not like it was today. Women never had rights. Prisoners never had rights back then. You know, you just need to look at the toll booth. So female prisoners, they were bottom of the barrel. With that being said, though, there was a lot of things put in place here at the Old Town Jail that made sure that the safety of women was like one of the top priorities. By keeping them all on the top floor, it kept them away from all men, not just prisoners, but guards, wardens, governors, even Hill himself. No man could go anywhere near the female prisoners, and this was for their own protection. You know, like if you saw back in the day, the male prisoners would just get beaten and branded and beaten up for the fun of it. You know, so imagine what they could do to the female prisoners given the opportunity. Yep. The fact that Hill was aware of this, but also cared enough to do something about it in the 1840s, a time where women didn't have the right to vote, weren't allowed to own property, you know, were just people that were there to cook and clean. The fact that he cared about their basic human rights when they didn't have them anywhere else in society, it was really ahead of its time. So yes, the women had to do all the chores, but that was a society where that was all they had to do. Like, they never proved themselves like in a working capacity in the First World War, when all the men went off to war and it was only the women that were here to do all the jobs. That's when they actually went, oh no, we can do it just as good as the guys. So
you know how you said about the top floor, women
guards as well.
Yeah, it was matron and female assistants to help with them. So yeah, and again, the matron and her assistants were the only ones that they wouldn't go anywhere near the men because
Trouble is, we don't get the
so yeah, men tend to the men.
too far away.
That's the sound.